This is Neil Ratner Rock Doc here on WDST Radio Woodstock with another episode of This Week in Rock, stories from the soundtrack of our lives. On September 16th, 1985, Kate Bush released the album Hounds of Love. The album's lead single, Running Up That Hill, became one of Kate's biggest hits, giving Bush her second #1 single in the UK. And the song's reappearance this year on the 4th season of the Netflix series Stranger Things has led to the tune's resurgence on charts around the world, reaching the top 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topping the charts in 8 countries, including the UK. So today, I thought I would tell you a few things about Kate Bush and the song Running Up That Hill that you might not know. And as usual, a little background first. Bush came from an artistic background. Her mother was an amateur traditional Irish dancer. Her father was an amateur pianist. Her brother Paddy worked as a musical instrument maker, and her brother John was a poet and photographer. Kate taught herself to play the piano at the age of 11, and she soon began composing songs, eventually adding her own lyrics. Her family saw that she was serious about music and helped Kate produce and shop a demo tape with over 50 of her compositions, which was turned down by multiple record labels. But there was one rock star who heard Kate's demo, and he felt that she had something very special.
When I was about 14, there was a friend of my brother's called Ricky Hopper, who was in the business and he knew a lot of people, and he acted as a friend to try and get the tapes across to people. And after some trying, there was no response. And he knew Dave Gilmour from the Pink Floyd. And Dave came along to hear me because at that time he was scouting for struggling artists.
I had a listen. I was intrigued by this strange voice. I went to her house, met her parents down in Kent, and she played me, God, I mean, it must have been 40 or 50 songs on tape, and I thought I should try and do something.
Gilmour helped the 16-year-old Bush record a more professional 3-track demo, which David paid for. The tape was produced by Gilmour's friend Andrew Powell and sound engineer Jeff Emmerich, who had worked with the Beatles. David hand-carried the demo tape to EMI, and it wasn't long before they signed Bush. The record label gave Bush a large advance, and Kate began recording her debut album, The Kick Inside, in 1977. Bush was also interested in expressionist dance and took some of the money to enroll in interpretive dance classes taught by Lindsay Kemp, a former teacher of David Bowie. The album The Kick Inside was released when Bush was 19, with some songs written when she was as young as 13. EMI originally wanted the more rock-oriented track, James and the Cold Gun, to be her debut single, but Kate, who already had a reputation for asserting herself in decisions about her work, insisted that it should be Wuthering Heights, which went on to top the UK and Australian charts and became an international hit, with Kate becoming the first British woman to reach #1 on the UK charts with a self-written song. Hounds of Love was Kate's 6th album, and Running Up That Hill was the lead single from the album. Bush first performed the song live in 1987 at the Secret Policeman's 3rd Ball, accompanied by guitarist David Gilmour. And in 2012, a remix featuring newly recorded vocals premiered during that year's Summer Olympics closing ceremony. Now that Netflix series Stranger Things has reintroduced the song, in a recent interview, Kate was asked how she would explain the meaning of Running Up That Hill to this new, younger audience.
Well, you know, I really like people to hear a song and take from it what they want. But originally it was written as the idea of really swapping a man and a woman, swapping places with each other, just to feel what it was like from the other side.
Yes, and getting that experience.
Yeah.
If that was possible. And it wasn't originally called Running Up That Hill, was it?
No, it was called A Deal with God. I think they were just worried, the record company were worried that it wouldn't get played on the radio, that people would feel it was a sensitive title.
Right. But so is that still how you think of it, as opposed to Running Up That Hill? Because when you've originally named something, and these are all your creations, you can stay wedded to it, can't you?
Well, yes and no, but some of them have had very strange titles that you kind of have a working title that you quickly forget. But yeah, I think for me this is still called A Deal with God.
Okay, let's listen. Kate Bush and Running Up That Hill.